This is a question that for some reason gives students a lot of trouble. I think it has to do with it's because of the savings account thing, but let's see if we can tackle it. So remember that the idea here is what we have been talking about, which is the difference between accounting profits and economic profits. And remember that the difference between them, accounting profits and economic profits, is that economic profits includes opportunity costs and accounting profits does not. So accounting profits is always equal to the revenue minus the accounting costs, but the economic profits, this is profits here too, is equal to the revenue minus the accounting costs minus the opportunity costs. Okay? So for instance, let's look at this question. So just say that John uses funds from the savings account to pay off his equipment loan. So remember that the savings account, the interest he collects on the savings account will be an opportunity cost for him. He will reduce the cost of production because he's paying off the loan, but he's also encouraging some opportunity costs. So the interest rate that John pays on the equipment loan will be an accounting cost because he doesn't have to pay that anymore as a result of production. But the interest he receives from the savings account, that will be an opportunity cost. So in this situation, what happens is when he pays off the loan, his accounting cost goes down. So his accounting profits will go up because he's paying off the loan. Right? So we know that the accounting profits will go up. So this is not right, and this is not right. So we are between this option and this option because we know the accounting profit increases. So what happens to economic profit? Well, economic profit will probably stay the same because what's happening here is that the reduction on the accounting cost is exactly the same as the increase in his opportunity cost. To see how this is the case, consider that he has the same, the loan is the same, let's say $1,000, and he has an interest rate of 3%, and he has the same amount of money on the savings account collecting the same interest rate, 3%. So basically what he has is a decrease of 3% on $1,000 on costs, on accounting costs, but he has that same increase because that is the money that he's not going to be able to make because from his savings account. That's his opportunity cost. So in that case, his accounting cost will be $300, the reduction on the accounting cost, and the increase in the opportunity cost is exactly the same because the interest rate that he earns on the savings account is exactly the same. So what happens here then is that the accounting profit rises because of that, but the economic profit stays the same since the opportunity cost that he has is the same as the reduction on the loan. So the answer to this question is this one. You may have to watch this video a couple times for this to click. Try to do some numbers on your own. Assume that the interest rate and the savings account rate is the same, and calculate the profits with some numbers, and it'll eventually click. It's kind of confusing, but after you do it a couple times, you should be able to get it. Okay, let's see if we can do one more. Okay, so it says Maria printing t-shirts, selling 200 t-shirts. Her fixed costs are $400. Her monthly variable costs are $1,000. And it's saying what happens if the fixed costs increase to $1,000. Now, what you have to remember here is what is changing here, right? So if the fixed cost increases, what happened to the cost of production? Well, remember that fixed costs are not going to be part of marginal costs because the marginal costs are the change in total costs over the change in output, but fixed costs are completely fixed. They don't change when you change output. So that means that any change to the fixed costs are not going to change the marginal costs. What changes the marginal costs are changes to the variable costs. So if the fixed costs increase to 1,000, the marginal costs are not going to increase. Now the average variable costs are also not going to change because the average variable costs are just the variable costs divided by output, and what's changing here is the fixed costs and not the variable costs. Now clearly the average fixed costs will increase because the average fixed costs are equal to fixed costs divided by output, and when the fixed costs increase to 1,000, this increases, so therefore the average fixed cost increases. Since A and B were wrong, that makes this wrong, and this makes the second one correct. So the answer to this question is the average fixed cost increase, and none of the other one do. The main thing to remember is that marginal costs do not include fixed costs. Marginal cost only includes variable costs.